Greetings, it's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to be able to talk to you again in part of these African Farmer Voices conversations. It's an interesting topic that I'm going to talk about. It's informed by some of the conversations that I've had with some of my fellow colleagues and young professionals in the industry, and I feel it's an important bit that we also get to understand how do we shape our career prospects, but also how do we shape our life trajectories as it moves along. And this is basically around the power of decision making and execution. The power of decision making and execution in shaping your career and personal life prospects in life as it is. And the reason as to why this is an interesting conversation is by the virtue that we are in a dynamic environment where there are so many changes that are happening, and with all these changes there is a need for us to understand how do we deal with these uncertainties and actually complexities that we have in our market, but at the same time how do we end up making moves rather than waiting and getting paralyzed by the virtue that we have so many uncertainties and so many complexities that we do not know how to deal with and actually surmount in terms of overcoming them in our own lives. And that is a problem that we all have as young professionals, and especially in the healthcare space, this is something that we are struggling with. Why is it a problem for us, especially as young professionals in the healthcare space? We were accustomed, and actually as a society we were primed by the virtue that this is how life works, in the sense that you work extra hard in your schooling, you get the good grades, you get posted for your internship, after which you get a job, and even the line of work for you was kind of predetermined. You knew I was going to work in a hospital, I was going to work in whatever it is, but mostly within the clinical setting, or if I'm a pharmacist, I'll go to work in a pharmaceutical industry, or alternatively I'll work in a community pharmacy on the wholesale distribution pathline. So there was some kind of, I would say, structure. There was some level of clarity that was there. Unfortunately, we are in a market where the dynamics are totally different. Guarantee of getting a job in all these sectors that we did hope for is not there. And therefore, then we need to ask ourselves, how do we shape our careers? How do we shape our lives? Do we make a decision in the sense that, let's, for example, in the earlier days when there was automatic posting, David would get done with school and say, by the way, that because I'm done with school, I'm getting into starting my career. 2 years down the line, I decide to get married because I'm clear that in 2 years I get married, go into starting my master's as a resident program or whatever it is. Then there is that kind of structure that was in place. At the moment, it's not there. And what happens with all these uncertainties and all this confusion that we have? We seek out help. We seek out guidance from seniors who've been in the profession longer than us, people who have walked the journey of life faster than us, better than us, and actually are ahead of us in the curve. It is important, and I really appreciate most of us who are reaching out to others, and I find it valuable. At a personal level, I do reach out to seniors, I do reach out to more people who are more experienced in the different spaces that I'm in, and even to peers who have done things different from how I've done them, and therefore I'm able to learn from those experiences. And that makes me gain some clarity and some semblance of structure on what I need to pursue and I need to execute on. But then when I talk about it in the power of decision making and execution as an essential aspect in terms of shaping our careers and also personal life trajectory, it is because that most of the times we get bogged down trying to ask so many questions, trying to find guidance, and we expect somebody who is giving us the guidance and counsel in terms of what to do, what prospects are there, to be able to tell us what really to do. Unfortunately, when you look at it from the career coaching, career guidance, and career counseling, it's mostly about giving you the options and helping you make sense of what decisions you need to make. It is upon me as David, if I've been guided and told, by the way, in your regulatory affairs line of practice, these are the options. You can focus on doing technical specialization within the regulatory affairs space, and therefore you'd be a subject matter expert as a technical scientist within that space. That gives me the edge to work within that space. Alternatively, you would strive to work within the technical space but also interface with the policy, with the external environment shaping perspectives, and therefore that is another option where you are not really focusing on the internal science within the organization that you're working with or within the regulatory agencies, but rather merging the external environment with the dynamics within the technical nuances of it. Alternatively, you'd totally live working within the institution and focusing on the science, but looking at the high level policy priorities and strategic initiatives that are needed for us to be able to deliver care and to ensure that the products are available by the strengthening regulatory systems, but also optimizing them to work better for the industry within which we're operating. That is another important aspect. So in that case, then I already have 3 options. What I do with those options, it's about David at a personal level saying, out of the 3, this is my interest and this is what I want to pursue. But once I've made that decision to pursue that line, it doesn't make sense for me to go back to the person and to ask them, should I do this? Ultimately, then you'll end up always asking and getting so much information, and then you suffer from paralysis of overload, of information overload, in the sense that I have so many options, I have so many ideas, and I have so many mentors and so many coaches in my life who are actually guiding me and showing me what needs to be done. But there's also the fear that if I tell you what to do, what if it doesn't work? You might most likely definitely blame it on me that it wasn't really your decision, but rather a decision that was informed by me giving you the option to pursue. That makes you, and actually in a way might make you resent your career choices and might get you more frustrated. And therefore, as a young professional, it is important to seek guidance and counsel from other people and seniors in the profession. But most importantly, it is key that you make the decision. When given information, make a decision and say, this is the path that I want to pursue. Is it a guarantee that it will succeed for you? Not really. But it is a clear way that you would be able to commit and deliver your best in that line of practice, and therefore you're able to gain insights, you're able to gain experience, and most importantly, able to shape the trajectory of your life. And if it doesn't work, you can course correct and go into another path, knowing that I already have experience on how that path works, and therefore that was not for me, this is the alternative that I'm going to pursue. But unless you make the decision, you'll always be stationary but looking like you're acting and making moves that does not help you in the long term. Another important thing that we have to understand is that when we are seeking guidance and kind of mentorship from seniors in the profession, they have a wealth of experience, but also understand that they worked within a different ecosystem, a different context altogether. And by the virtue that they worked in a different context, whatever you're asking for, they might not have all the answers. But also there's that fear for seniors, or actually even our peers, who look like they've already crafted a path in their careers, to want to look like they have all the answers. I would tell you, as David in my career, I've been lucky enough, and God, Lord has been gracious to me, that I've been able to access opportunities that have helped me shape the trajectory of my career with some semblance of clarity on where it should look like. Do I have all the answers that I would have hoped for? No. Do I have all the answers that you'd reach out to me to get? No, I don't. But I'll give you insights based on what my experience are, what my perspective and perception of that industry that you are interested in. But it's all about you making the decision on what you need to know. And therefore, don't expect my answers to be 100% accurate. Don't expect the answers that you get from mentors to be 100% bulletproof and clear on what you need to do. We are all walking different journeys, and by walking different journeys, as much as we share insights, these are insights that are informed by experience, but also some of them are formed by observations and understanding of the market dynamics that may work or may not work. So if you come to me expecting 100% bulletproof answers, I'm sorry, that will not be the case. And it's not only for me, it's most for our professionals and our seniors as well, who have worked in different contexts. Somebody left school, they got automatic posting. After the 2-3 years of practice, they applied for their master's program. The government sponsorship was still in place. They went and did their master's within the government structured system. 2 years down the line, they've graduated, or 4 years down the line, depending on the program they were taking, they're back into the field of practice. And as much as they're practicing, then they automatic upgrade in terms of their job level. This is a different ballgame altogether. You're now asking this person how to maneuver your postgraduate experience with a different context, in the sense that you don't even have a job after internship. That person will not give you the accurate answer, but they'll give you insights on what they think can work. It's about you to make the decision on how to use that information. But once you've made a decision, another critical bit of information that I've noted in the recent past from some of the conversations, you get guidance, you've already decided on what move to make, but then execution is what will give you the experience of what it looks like and what it doesn't look like. If I've referred you to talk to somebody because I believe they are more informed in that line of practice compared to my experience, then it is upon you then to be able to reach out to them. If I have contacts, I would facilitate an introduction. But unless you reach out to that person, you will not get that experience. If they've told you to do A, B, C, and D, you do not do A, B, C, and D, and you wait maybe after a month or 2 months again, you're coming back to the same question, then ultimately you'll never know whether it would have worked or have not worked. So unless you execute, you will always have so many ideas, you'll always have so many options, but then you're not executing on any of them, and therefore you get paralyzed, and that inaction makes you actually even feel more drained, more exhausted, which does not lead to success. And that cuts across our career life and also our personal lives. Maybe you're considering starting a family and all that. Unless you make the conscious decision and say, I'm committing to this course for as long as it takes, you will not make that decision. But after a period of time, you'll keep asking yourself and second guessing and doubting whether you made the right decision or not. Why? Because you did not make a decision. And that indecision is also a decision on its own, and it is going to cost you at a personal level, and it might impact the prospects and the possibilities that you might have in life. So for me in this conversation, the most important thing is we do not know all the answers. Most importantly, let us reach out to seniors, let us reach out to others in the profession who have walked the journey ahead of us. When they share insights with us, they'll give us options, they'll help us think through them based on our interests, which they might not have 100% guarantee on, but they have an idea of what success would look like and what options are available in those spaces. It is upon us as young professionals to make a choice on which line do we want to go and how do we go about it. Then finally, when we make a decision, let us execute. Don't go back 2-3 times on the same question with guidance and with options presented, but you've not even went further to actually study more about those options. Make a decision on which particular one. If I gave you 4 options today, if you come to me 2-3 weeks down the line and we are discussing an option that you've actually narrowed down and said, David, out of the 4 options, I'm more inclined towards A. In this A, how do I do it? What are the key actionable items that are in this that could help me craft my life journey? Then I'll be able to think it through with you again. Then you get maybe options of key actions. You have started from the high level priority, then you've narrowed it down to actionable items within that space. Then for the actionable items, maybe a month later you're coming back and telling me, we agreed that I would be reading more on this, and I've read on it and developed this article that is arguing on that line, and it's something that actually speaks to my soul, speaks to where my interests are in terms of career progression. Then I would be able to tell you, because you've written that article, publish it in this peer-reviewed journal, publish it in this article magazine. That gives you the ability, the move, and as you're achieving one thing over the other, you're always making progress, and it gives you the fulfillment and the encouragement that you're doing something with your life, and that keeps you alive, keeps hope alive, and that is the only thing that would make a difference in our lives as professionals, especially with all the dynamics that we're dealing with. It is my hope that you find fulfillment in your career. It is my hope that you find fulfillment in life, and it's most importantly for you to be able to achieve that. I believe at a personal level, it is by making decisions, following through, making the quick wins. They might be very minute, very dismal as they are, but those make a difference in our career trajectories, and I'm hoping we make the best of them. If you find these conversations fulfilling, enlightening for you, please share the videos with other people, let them engage as well, learn, and if there's something that you'd want me to talk about, I'll be more than glad to have a conversation, and if possible even invite other people so that we can have those conversations to shape the future of our careers, shape the future of our lives, and make the world a better place. Thank you for engaging, and enjoy your Sunday.